What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you guys, well, with the Banlist video. Guys, before I begin with the Banlist video, I asked a question in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Market Watch Facebook group, and I said, post Eternity Code, what deck are you looking to play? And I posted a lot of decks, and the number one slot that won that poll was Other. In fact, a lot of people were commenting about their decks and what they're gonna play, and V, you gotta check this deck out, check this deck out, check this deck out. And I just wanna say, ultimately, I think we're entering in an open meta. Now, I don't gotta be the one to tell you that in open metas, Murmurs always win. That's almost common sense at this point. When everyone's figuring out what they want to do with the new cards and, oh, maybe this combo will work, Murmurs come in, they just take your hand away and then they shotgun your face. But another thing that really surprised me is the amount of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players that were talking about generators. Generators and how good they're gonna be post Eternity Code. So if you guys are out there, comment down below and show some love. And comment question of the day to everybody watching this video, real quickly, guys. Hey, what are you playing post Eternity Code? Comment down below and let me know. Now, today's video is gonna be a rough one. We're gonna be talking about what's gonna be going on the ban list. And I'm telling you right now, the other video I love making both of these videos, but I love making and having a conversation about the ban list. That's what this video is about, a conversation about the ban list. Sometimes you get people that comment down there and they're like, oh V, that makes no sense, you hit my deck. I'm not Konami, dummy. I'm just having a conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's work on it. But don't come over here and tell me, you hit my deck, you're a horrible person, thumbs down the video. Like, it just makes no sense. Like I said, if you watch my content, especially a ban list video when we have a discussion, at least tell me why you don't think that card should be in the ban list. Convince me, and I would love to convince you back and we can have this dialogue. But don't go in the comment section and start yelling, V, what do you mean, Mystic Mind? It's so balanced. The card's so balanced. Everyone can play it. No. It's a horrible card. Guys, before we begin, let's talk about a couple of cards on the market. Bought 3 cards, and then we'll go right into the ban list. But before I begin, guys, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, like button, and comment down below. Once again, comment the deck you want to play post Eternity Code, and let me know what you would hit also on the ban list. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell when I go live, have these videos go live, as well as my live streams if I'm awake. I've been trying to do a live stream, I'm not even joking, you guys, the past 3 nights. And every time it hits around like 9:30, and I'm trying to do it around 10 p.m. Eastern time, I start getting dizzy, and next thing I know, I'm waking up and it's morning. I'm trying, guys. The first card up is going to be Dimensional Fissure from Champion Pack 8, the super rare, $23 market price. The card's currently $200. Next one is the PSA Gem 10, about $350. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of other printings of this card, including common D-Fissure, so you have a variety of the card. In fact, if you want a high rarity one, like the secret rare version coming out of Legend Collection 2, that's only $1.50. Look at over here, boom, all over the place, $1.50 all over the place. So you do have the option to get this, but if you want the original hard to get version from Champion Pack 8, that's probably out of reach, if we're gonna be honest. Looking at Macrocosmos from DR4, because that's what I immediately looked at after I saw this card. I was like, all right, let's go see Macrocosmos, because they're almost in the same kind of party. Macrocosmos, super rare at Dark Revelations 4, $32 market price, is $80, and that's it. That's the only listing. Once again, there are other copies of this card, but this is the highest version of the card. It's the hardest to get version of the card. I would argue the dual terminal versions are always the second highest in certain cases, depending if they have an ultimate rare reprint. And look at dual terminal 6 Macrocosmos. The price point is about $3, so it's relatively low for that version. But the hardest to get version, the version that there's not many supply out there, is going to obviously be the D-Rev 4 Macrocosmos. Then we have generators, just generators. I don't know if they're going to be good, but I do know that boss stage is slowly rising up. I'm seeing this. Mardell used to be $8, mind you. When Mystic Fire's first dropped, this was an $8 card. Currently is holding a $25 market price, nearest $25 price point. Like I said earlier, generator players, what is happening? Get me in the loop. I want to be in there with you, okay? I have the deck already. I think I'm missing one boss stage, but ultimately I have the rest of the deck. Why? Why is this deck so up there? Because you got to realize, post Eternity Code, a lot of decks get a lot of power-ups. And if unchecked by a ban list, these decks can run the meta. So tell me, why can't this compete with the big dogs? How can it do it? Let me know. So the first card I want to talk about in the Forbidden List, obviously going to be Mystic Mine. Even though it has not seen any play, that's because we have not seen any realistic control decks. Yes, there's Guru Control out there, sure, but it's not fast. It's nowhere near as fast as a control deck as I'm going to argue with Ultigeist is. And I think if Konami doesn't have any control decks down in the pipe, I think we can have a conversation about Ultigeist figure coming off the ban list, whether it goes to 2 or to 3 from limited. Okay, so that's why this card's not doing anything yet. You get me a deck that puts a boss monster out there that just runs the board and has a really broken effect. I'll show you a deck that can run Mystic Mine at 3, because one guy is going to keep beating down your board until you run out of resources, and there's light you up in 1 turn. And that's what this card allows those kind of decks to do. Yes, you can play a burn deck, and you might be decent at it, sure, and it might work, I guess, but it's not going to be consistent, and that is the issue. This card's so broken, this card needs to be checked, and being the fact that this card's not checked, every single ban list this card goes unchecked, I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up and I'm throwing it out there because I don't like this card. I think it's poorly made. You got other cards like Wabaku. 1 day of peace, hold on a second. 1 day of peace is limited, but this card's allowed to be played. Tricking Game, perfectly hit on the ban list. Makes perfect sense to me. Mystic Mine at 3. So I don't like this card whatsoever. I think it's really an unfair card. And real quickly, guys, I just want to say Faker is the only way I would say Faker to come off the ban list, and we're going to be honest, if Konami does not have any new control decks down the pipe that could be tier 1. Because we don't got any good control decks that are tier 1, we're going to have a lot of mid-range decks that are the new control decks. But if we're talking about control in the sense of good control decks, Ultigeist is the deck. It realistically is. And I think this is the best control deck we've ever had. And if Konami either, once again, doesn't have any, they got unlock multi-faker to see what it can do, or we can just have a new control deck coming down that's tier 1, which I'm totally fine with. But I think that we need to have something like that to help the whole trinity of control, mid-range, and combo decks. But yeah, I think mid-range might be the new control if this card stays on the ban list. Next, guys, Charge of the Light Brigade. Charge of the Light Brigade easily gets you into Raiden. Now, that might not be a broken play, sure, but it's broken in the sense of this card seeing play in Eldritch variants. This card can possibly see play in other variants. And in the rest of this ban list video, I really looked at cards that came off the ban list, like Charge of the Light Brigade. And I said, I don't really want to put cards that came off the ban list and put them back on the ban list. But in the case of Charge of the Light Brigade, it kind of needs to be that card. I mean, it's really good. It's really, 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 really good. It mills 3 cards and then lets you search for a monster. Boom. I mean, that's pretty broken. We don't have, there's no like version of like Rotor. Or imagine any deck having their own version of a card that lets you mill 3 and then search for a monster within its archetype, like Lightsworn. So I think this card's insanely broken. I'm shocked that Yu-Gi-Oh players are starting to use this card now. Back when, I mean, you could use this card when we had Orcus, but then again, probably everything was using with Orcus. But this card really is broken. I think it's gonna get to the time where we're gonna see this card go. This card's too good. I didn't ask to a position on this ban list, but let's be honest with you, it should be on there. It's another card, but that's probably for another video. I'll talk about it. So let's talk about the big card everyone's yelling about, and that's Block Dragon. You got Yu-Gi-Oh players that own the Adamantipator deck saying Block Dragon needs to go to 2 or 1. You got Yu-Gi-Oh players that don't own Adamantipator's that says Block Dragon needs to go to 0. That's it. There are no other Yu-Gi-Oh players. If you grab those players and you put them to the side, what you have in the middle is an empty spot, because that's the whole conversation with Block Dragon. Now, I'm going to be honest with you as possible. When I do these videos, I like to do them as unbiased as possible. It's really hard to do it unbiased as possible, because if you was to ban Block Dragon, you, by proxy, kill Adamantipator's. The whole deck dies, okay? I just want to throw that out there for you guys. And for you, some of you guys, it's like, good, let it die. Wrong. The deck just came out. Do you honestly, truly think Konami wants to kill something that just came out? We're not talking a broken deck like Infernities when they first came out. 2 weeks later, they were hit. No, we're talking about Adamantipator's, which, yes, is a tier 1 deck, but there's other tier 1 decks. Other decks are still beating Adamantipator's. So what do we have here? My argument is that I do not think Block Dragon is gonna get banned. I think it will be limited. Once again, I am very biased because I do own Adamantipator's, but I just want to throw that out there. Another thing I want to say is, if you play Water, you know already the answer. It doesn't matter if the deck card's at 3 or not. You lose. Like, Water craps on Emancipators. Going first, Emancipators have a decent board, but they need to run to Abyss Dweller. If they don't run to that Abyss Dweller, they're in a bad position. Going second, they lose a lot of resources, so they better have those block dragons. And I think if this card was to be limited, which I think is the right hit, because it allows the opponents to play cards like DD Crow and other cards to limit the amount of times your opponent can abuse block dragon, I think that's fair. And fair in the meta we're in right now, it's pretty rough. It makes those decks stand out of the position they're currently in, being tier 1 right now, and as newer and newer cards come out, they get thrown to the wayside. So I think that's what's going to happen with Emancipators. Once again, I don't think it's a terrible deck with Block Dragon at 1. I don't think it's the best deck with Block Dragon at 1. It's definitely a tier 1 deck still, though. And I think even though it's still a tier 1 deck, it's not the best tier 1 deck. It loses a lot. So, excuse me. That's what I think with this card. So once again, I'm going to be biased. I'll be honest with you guys. This card is really good. Really good. You notice in this game, every Take Your Monster card is either banned or specific archetype, and even then the archetype has been blown to bits. Hi Strikers, talking to you. Everything that says, take your monster, just go take it. Just give it back though, or some dumb, terrible restriction like, but you can't tribute that monster. You can't do anything with it. You can't attack. Okay, no attacking. And you're like, oh yeah, no, I won't attack. I'll just give it a monster real quick. Like any card like that is either severely hit, banned, or just not being played as much. Enter Crackdown, which is at 3. Like I said earlier in this video, I think that Konami might not have a new pure control deck, even though I think they should, because it would balance the meta perfectly. What we're gonna see is these mid-range decks being control decks, but even if you're a mid-range player, you can run Crackdown. The card's very good. And I think with Crackdown, that gives you an advantage is if your deck ends on a couple of negates, maybe like 2 negates, or maybe an IP Masquerena about to go into something and stop your opponent from making their play, having one Crackdown on board is huge. It allows you to stop your opponent's summon. It allows you to take one card free from your opponent without using anything within your current board, minus the Crackdown. It is a broken card. So once again, I do think this card needs to be hitting the ban list. I think this card is insanely busted. And if anyone goes, well, it's not that bad. Really? Change of Heart, Snatch Steal, Mind Control, like, these are all cards that were just like, oh, they're not that bad. They don't, not that crazy. Breaks the meta. Top decks to break the meta. Like, it's just, I don't know. Every time I look at this card, I just get nervous. I go, this card's too good. Also, it's a card that's a 3 of, like, God, man. Anyway, Chaos Dragon 11 year. So, I've been saying this forever, and I know a lot of people might disagree with me on this, but this card's absolutely insane. This card's insane. I mean, yes, the price point is currently 47. It's actually going up. It's actually roughly around 51. It'll continue to go up if left unchecked, because this card is absolutely broken. A card that can take one part of your opponent's hand randomly, in addition to that, can also be easily special summoned by banishing 3 light and or dark monsters in your graveyard. Also, alternatively, it has the effect to pop cards on the field, and if you have light monsters, special summon a monster. That thing, all built into one card that's magically level 8 with 3k attack? Come on, man. This card's absolutely broken. And just because this card doesn't have a deck it fits in right now, doesn't mean it's not gonna have a deck that's gonna fit in the future. And that's something that you gotta look at whenever I look at these ban lists. I like to talk about how long can this card last into the next meta. And it's really hard to do with, obviously, we can never know what the new set Konami's gonna have released. If Konami's gonna go, hey, those dragons are pretty fun, let's release a ton of dragon support or dragon support, whatever it is, that's just light and dark. And then you have Twilight cards, and then you have cards like Chaos Dragon Levineer just running around. Realize this is a dangerous card. Yu-Gi-Oh's always been a game of dragons and spellcasters, and it's not hard for Konami. I feel like Konami is a drug addict that always relapses, and that relapse is always going to be in the form of spellcasters and dragons, and Konami is looking to relapse. So once again, do you want this card in the meta? Now, should it be hit, banned? I don't think so. I think that's too crazy yet. But I think it should definitely be limited. Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. Another card we have is Nibiru the Primal Being coming out of the 2019 Gold Shark Megatins. Now, you can say Nibiru, Dark Ruler, no more, and we can always have a side discussion about which one. But whenever you see a side deck card make its way into the main deck to control the meta, 2 things are happening. One, the meta is kind of going off the rails, and I think we're kind of seeing that slowly happen. Not that it's bad, it can be, but right now it's not, because we're all thirsty to play some real Yu-Gi-Oh, so it's not. But if we play physical Yu-Gi-Oh, this will get real old real fast. That's number one. Number two, side deck cards should never be in the main deck. Konami's always going to check that. They've always have, and they always will. Look at Mind Control. That card was a side deck card, slowly making its way to the main deck. Konami's like, no, Mind Control. You go to 1. At first I went to 2, and Yu-Gi-Oh players like, oh yeah, we'll just slowly play 2. And the Konami's like, you go to 1. Anyway, look at that Nibiru, and look at that Dark World No More. These are great cards. And I do like the fact that they can help check the meta, because the meta is becoming, once again, unchecked. But it's not how Konami wants to see it. It's not how they saw with other cards. You think they're just gonna let this slide? No. They're going to find a way to limit the amount of these cards you can play. Why? To sell more Yu-Gi-Oh product, of course. You know, Nibiru's a great card, don't get me wrong, but everyone that's playing combo, every time they do their combo has to stay in it, alright? And this is the point where you can Nibiru me and continue the combo. Their combo has to say that. If the combo doesn't say that, they're not a combo player as much as they are a player that's just waiting to get Nibiru'd and then end the board with 2 cards and get bodied next turn by a mid-range player. I mean, they will get wrecked every single time. So, once again, looking at a card like Nibiru, looking at a card like Dark World No More, I realistically do think that Konami is going to touch these cards in some way. Okay, bring them back to the bring them to the back of the shed. Maybe put them to 2. Who knows? But these are going to get hit. I think Konami wants to promote more combo decks. And yes, if you're watching this video and you're going, wait a minute, V, are you saying Konami wants to promote combo decks? Yes, yes. They always have and they always will. This is how the game works. Combo is the crazy brute force monster that's just running throughout the town. Konami enables this. And then Konami goes to you, the hero. I'm not saying combos are bad, but you are. And then the hero, I'm going, all right, hero, here's ways to stop that monster. Here's the resources. And at times, right now, the resource is cards in the form of Nibiru, Dark World No More. It is these cards. But when Konami takes the cards away and the brute force monster is running around town, we're gonna get newer cards to control that. We're going to. It's inevitable. I don't know if this is all gonna happen in this ban list or next ban list or one ban list in the future. But you cannot look at me straight in the eye and go, oh, Nibiru? That card's always gonna be at 3. Dark World No More? Alright? That'll be at 3 as well. A card that stops one full mechanic never lasts in this game. It just doesn't happen. It unfortunately doesn't happen. I wish it did at times, but it unfortunately doesn't happen. Combo, control, and mid-range. If you have a card that stops a whole one of those at one time, ultimately it's going to get hit, banned, or Konami's gonna release another card just to shut that card down. It's just gonna happen. We saw it with Red Reboot against all the control players. I mean, that card's broken. Okay, I mean, and then Konami goes, okay, we're gonna hit Red Reboot, and control players like, damn, okay, hit Red Reboot, okay, we're good to go. Like, you're good to go. And then Lightning Storm comes in. So that's basically what's gonna happen. These might get hit or might get modified, but we're still gonna get other power creep cards coming in. So that's my whole conversation about this. I know it's a bit of a nuanced one because a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I really do think that it's something that we gotta, start facing now if it does happen now. Up next, Invoked. Okay, I don't know if it's gonna be Invocation, Magical Meltdown, or Alistair. If you want to kill Invoke from being in anything, you hit Alistair. If you want to limit the amount of Invoke that can be played in a deck, or maybe put them in as a small engine, you hit Invocation. And if you want to pretend you're doing something, but not really do something, but pretend you're doing something, you hit Magical Meltdown. That's it. I literally answered everything for Invoked. I don't know which one Konami's gonna do, but we know one of these is gonna happen. The variant of Invoke happening right now is slowly starting to get kind of crazy. The variant of Invoke coming out with the new stuff and the Megatins and Dragons and all that stuff might get absolutely downright upsetting. So I think Konami might preemptively hit Invoked and just let us have what we have. So that might be a thing. So keep an eye out for that. Then we have, and by the way, when I mean hit Invocation, I mean put it to 1, by the way. It's not going to go to 2. Let's just call it what it is. That will go to 2. That'll go to 1. That will go to 1. They'll probably hit that to 2 if they want to do nothing but like pretend they want to do something. Okay, I'm next. Dinosaur players, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit. The only question is how bad. I mean, I'm be honest with you. If you think you're not going to get hit and you're playing dinosaurs, I'm jealous of your ignorance. I want to play dinosaurs, and I actually personally want to build dinosaurs. I really badly do, because they're such a fun deck with a new card that looks gorgeous, by the way. I think dinosaurs can definitely be a good deck. In fact, I would argue they're a 0.5 deck with that new card by itself, as well as with the rest of the dinosaurs. you're gonna have to get checked in this ban list. You're gonna have to get checked. It's just gonna happen. And you know, once again, the question is, what's gonna get hit at this point? The question isn't, is it gonna get hit with dinosaur players? You have to be honest with yourselves, because right now you're doing some decent things, but you're not like Eldritch Invoke crazy. So it's easy to say they won't hit us, but then when you add the new cards into dinosaurs, then it's like, okay, you're gonna get hit. Like that's what I'm factoring in. So that's the way I'm looking at it. And looking at dinosaurs, I think the best card to hit is Soul Even or After. This card is absolutely bonkers. This card does not deserve to be at 3. It just doesn't. I can't see any of the rest of the dinosaur cards being hit without first having a conversation about Soul Eating over Raptor. Then again, you can always have the counter conversation saying, well, Konami hasn't reprinted it, henceforth made this, henceforth it won't get hit. And you're right, this one card costs $10. Destruction Deck Dynamaster Fury costs $10. What? So there is a chance they might not hit this card. I do see that. But once again, if you want to control dinosaurs, you want to limit the power creep they're about to have, you gotta talk about this card in some way, shape, or form. I mean, there's other cards. Once again, there's Baby Sabersaurus, there's Miscellaneousaurus, but I don't think it's gonna happen because it just came off the list a bit. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, I guess. Fossil Dig, I guess, would be the next likely hit if you're not gonna hit over Raptor, but it's not that good of a hit, but there it is right there. Alright, Ban Giant Rex, I really don't know, but I do know, and I really do think that Konami's gonna have to hit dinosaurs in order to power creep it down a little bit, still making it meta, which is not easy to do with this deck, by the way. This deck has a lot of great cards, but if you hit one card, the deck can still go. The deck has a bunch of feet and like 2 or 3 heads. Any of those heads go, the deck just definitely loses a lot of power. You hit a feet, the deck can still run. It has like a ton of feet. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what's gonna happen with this deck. I do think it's gonna get hit, but I can't honestly tell you what card. Then we have tuning. So tuning is starting to make its, if anyone knows the past couple of online tournaments where tuning is starting to make its way into Eldritch variants. In fact, looking at tuning by itself, you could run it with Jet Synchron, and yeah, it's pretty broken. Ultimate Tuning also is currently on the market for roughly around $140. That's pretty broken. But looking at Tuning right now, in general, it's a really good card. And I think Konami really want us to play the card because they put it in Legendary Duel's Magical Hero. And then use those cards from Legendary Duel's Magical Hero to coincide with the later sets. Because Konami, when I went to Comic-Con a long time, 2 years ago, before this whole pandemic, when I went to Comic-Con, what happened was I talked to a Konami employee, and one of the things Konami always loves doing is finding correlation between previous sets that weren't released out too long ago and the current sets, and combining them. That's what they love doing, and that's what they want to do moving forward. So whenever you see a deck, you always have to ask yourself, is this deck working with anything in the previous sets? And more than likely, your answer is going to be yes. Obviously, with the older decks, older archetype stuff, to bring it back, it's always fun. I love that. It's like one of my favorite things to see when they take an older archetype like Shadol's and like, oh, here's a structure deck, or, you know, stuff like that. I love that stuff. But whenever you do something, especially like with Animancipators and Eldritch, they always want a correlation. And this was the correlation, I believe, that was in Legendary Duel's Magical Hero with tuning, correlating with the set that Eldritch came out, a secret, something saviors. I always forget that set's name. It's a great set, by the way. I just forget its name. Anyway, looking at this, I think Konami has a correlation. Okay, it's out. Hit it. This card's broken, and this card allows decks like Eldritch to just have that extra advantage that necessarily doesn't realistically need. I do think this card's going to be abused not only in Eldritch, but other decks moving forward. So the question is, once again, when are you going to hit this card? Are you going to get rid of Jet Synchron? Is that your hit? Because this card's still really good, and this card will still find other cards. Right, Quick Draw Synchron, right, anything in the card game Yu-Gi-Oh! So once again, I do think that tuning is the card that has to be hit. The question is, how many? I think it should go to 1. About a fair number. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about that card. Alright, I'm not going to say Grandmaster, this card's going to get hit. I'm just going to show you a card that I think is going to get hit eventually. Grandmaster the Eyes is going to get hit. Like, come on, players. I know a lot of people out there going, V, don't you talk about my Grand Maju. Let's talk about your Grand Maju, motherfucker. Listen, why would this deck not get hit? There's nothing that Konami can make profit off this deck. There's nothing that Konami can bring out to promote this deck. There is nothing for you. Konami can still keep releasing these gizmic variants, which obviously makes your deck pretty good. And Konami's not there to make your deck good, because let's be honest with you, your deck's main core came on OTS Pack 12, and then the previous reprint of the card came out forever ago. I think it's time Grandmaster is going to get hit in the ban list. It's a rogue deck right now. It's not even a rogue deck. But I know the players playing this deck will get upset by me even talking about this, because I'm talking about their baby. But let's be honest. They're not wanting to really promote Grandmaster if they wanted to do it and release cards for it already. that were made for the Grand Maju, but they're not doing that. Those cards get hit. And then we have Crystal Needle Fiber. So let's have the real conversation about this card. It's out, we have it, when are we gonna lose it? I mean, let's be honest, I want this card forever. I love this card. This card is super fun. This card takes any kind of Yu-Gi-Oh player and immediately allows them to play Motivation Control easily with the abuse of Crystal Needle Fiber. I'll be honest with you, I'm there with you guys. I love this card. But with that said, we're getting Link Cross, and Link Cross and Crystal Needle Fiber are pretty stupid together. It's like having a good buddy at a party, and he always acts like an ass when his other buddy comes up, and guess who just walked in the door? Link Cross! Why is this gonna be happening, and how long is this gonna be happening for? That's the question. Link Cross is relatively new, so they're not gonna hit that, we know that. But Needle Fiber? When? That's a question. It's not, oh yeah, this card, no, it's fine. It won't be hit. It's when you're gonna be hitting Crystal Needle Fiber. That's the question that's gonna be asked. And it should be, because this card is absolutely stupid. And it's gonna happen eventually. Then we have Mermails, water in general. Water's gonna get really good, like really good, with the new Eternity Code cards coming out. It took me a while to realize what can be hit with water. Little side note, I'm building max rarity water. I just bought 3 of these cards yesterday, first edition secret rare. That deck's insanely expensive to build max rarity. It's taking forever. I just started 2 days ago, and it's annoying that it's not done yet. I want the deck max rarity, but I want it as soon as possible. And it's so much money, I have to like wait slowly and buy it and whatnot. But that's a little side note. Going back to Mermail Abyss Megalo and water in general, that deck's really good. It can consistently, before shotgun your opponent's face, as debating what they want to play in the beginning of a regional season. It can consistently take cards out of your opponent's hand. It could have did that, what? Since 2015, 2016, it could easily snipe cards out of your opponent's hands, thanks to Moon and Glacier, and other cards and friends. It can easily consistently do that. So the question once again is, and with these new cards, what do you think it's gonna do? It's gonna do it better, faster, and more efficient. And that's gonna be a problem for everybody. I think Konami's gonna have to realize that. So the question has to be asked, what card can be hit to mediate this deck? If we're just talking about mediating decks, if we're talking about killing a deck, well, you're gonna have to hit a lot of water cards. You're gonna have to give it the pendulum treatment. And by the way, mind you, let's not even pretend this is not gonna happen. Somehow in this Banlist, Konami's gonna hit pendulums. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, here's a hit, here's a hit, here's a hit. Shut up, pendulums. They're gonna get hit. Okay, if you're a pendulum player, I'm sorry. You should be used to it already. It's gonna happen. And if you're a Salamander player, you too. But looking at water and looking at Mermails, I do think Abyss Megalo would be the right card to limit, if not ban. Because even though this card is not broken or insanely broken, it adds to the consistency of water. And water already is immediately amazingly consistent, and with the new support, it's only going to boost it even more, so you're going to have to lower it in a capacity that's going to allow it to be played, but not allow it to be played at a tier 0.5. That's Konami's nightmare. Tier 0, tier 0.5. They don't want that. They love tier 1, and they love at least 3 decks in a tier 1 capacity. That's what they want, ideally. More decks come tier 1, the better. But they do not want 0.5, they do not want tier 0. Mermails are like dinosaurs, where you're looking at it and going, that new support makes me worried about you. And everyone should be like that. So looking at these cards and looking at the bans, I think this might be the right hit for the deck. I don't know 100%. Once again, if you're a water player out there, please comment down below and let me know. But I think this is the hit you do hit to the deck to lower the consistency, but still make the deck viable as a tier 1 prospect. And then we have Thunder Dragon Colossus. Yeah, no, I'm always gonna talk about this in every single Banlist video. This card should go to 1. It's annoying me how people are like, Thunder Dragon Colossus is too broken out 1. Really? That's broken out 1? Do you know the meta we're in right now? Are you kidding me? That's broken? No. Nope. Thunder Dragons, you can make a good argument, if you ever played the deck or looked at the deck, can be a good candidate to be a control deck. And a control deck that can control with monsters as opposed to floodgate traps and or spells, broken. This is what this deck it was slowly becoming before it got hit, rightfully so, mind you. I think Colossus had to be hit in some capacity, but this card should go to 1. It makes Thunder Dragons viable. Right off the gate, they're viable. They're not tier 1, mind you. They're not. Like, you're sitting there with Eldritch and Emancipators, Water, Dinosaurs, all these broken decks, and you're like, Colossus to 1? Crazy. Yo, so first of all, stop. Get off your throne, okay? Second of all, this deck with one Colossus would become a meta tier 1.5 deck. This deck will be in the same category, hero players raise your hand, as my hero paisanos. That's where this deck will go. Banlist players, come over here, you four that's left and me. Raise your hands. This is where this deck would be. It's not gonna be broken. This one card can help promote Thunder Dragon's engine and other mid-range and combo builds, which might be good or bad depending on how you look at it. But I think that's where this is gonna go. And yeah, I know I was talking about cards going on the ban list, but I think this card should go to 1, and that's my thoughts on it. I really want to emphasize that in almost every ban list because I really do think this card is a card that if at 1 would definitely make the game more interesting. It will add a brand new dynamic to the game that's not necessarily broken, but just really good. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit the like button, comment down below. It's your boy V and you paisanos. You guys all have a great day.